This episode of The Republic is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes it fast and easy to create professional websites, blogs, portfolios, even with online stores. For a free trial and 10% off your first purchase on new accounts, just go to squarespace.com and use offer code GAMEBREAKER6. It's really awesome.
Game Breaker TV.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Republic, episode 141 for June 10th, 2013. I'm Gary again, and you're watching Game Breaker TV. Coming up on today's show, BioWare says no to cross-server queues, at least for now. Expansions really screw up the talent trees, and PvE power needs a buff. Plus, I think we've got some tidbits from the live stream just happened today. All that and more, but first... They say it's your birthday. Laura Williams, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. The ripe old age of 34.
Oh, I thought you were 21. You're allowed to drink.
Yes.
Yes, I'm 21 again.
Larry, who is definitely not 21. Larry, what are you, like 63?
Something like that.
Something like that. Larry Everett from Massively.com.
Yeah, I lost track quite a while.
I'm right there with you, bro. I'm right there with you. Seriously. So we did the show live on Monday, first day of E3, right here in Los Angeles. We're going to be doing tons of E3 coverage starting tomorrow, live from the showroom. Not live from the showroom floor. We will be on the showroom floor. So keep it locked in on Game Breaker TV because you can get lots of updates. We're going to check out a lot of different companies, WildStar, CCP, all the MMO stuff. You know, that's what we're going to cover. So we'll be doing a lot of it. And I think just a few of you may be watching the live keynotes right now. So just maybe a few of you. Maybe, I don't know, the 125,000 people that usually show up for the Republic are watching E3 right now. But we understand. We understand.
They're sad that Star Wars is not there.
Why aren't they there? I don't know. All right, Eric Musco. He had this to say during E3. Just happened. This is like breaking news. He said, just to head off any crazy expectations, SWTOR will not be on the floor of E3, so I wouldn't expect any big announcement from us. That being said, don't forget that we are having a meet and greet as part of the Cantina tour. You can always look forward to cool little tidbits of information from our Cantina events, though. Just don't expect anything big since we won't have a presence directly at E3. So, massive E3 presence confirmed by the SWTOR team, obviously. Big announcements. Are we thinking full-on $60 expansion, full space combat, plus a new cinematic by Blur Studios? What are we thinking?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not happening.
They did say this, actually, at the live stream just a couple hours ago. They said at the LA Cantina which is next week, beginning of next week. They will reveal some stuff, and that's one of the things that they wanted to make mention during the live stream, and want everybody to know that the Cantina tours aren't just going to be, although it's really cool to meet the devs and that all that fun stuff. They said that they will talk about future stuff and have some sort of reveal at the Cantina tours. So
all exclusive.
Exactly. So even though they're not going to be at E3, they will be in LA, and it will be next week. So
all right, well, that makes sense. I mean, they can use it as a little promotional tool and get some information out. Might as well, right? It's the hardcore of the hardcore fans who are going to go to the Cantina tour. Have you guys been?
I haven't. No, the closest I came to it was when they had one of those. They had a couple powwows at like I guess call them parties. I don't know what you call them after some of the shows, and PAX and those kinds of things. And it's from we had somebody in our guild that went to the last one in Dallas, and from his description of it, it was pretty much exactly what they do. during during some of the shows, like some of the parties that they have at shows. So,
and yes, Larry,
yeah.
when people get together and they congregate and they consume alcohol in the outside world, that's called a party. It is.
Is that what it's called?
It is.
I don't know. I was always thinking that parties involved a live band and dancing girls, but
well, that too.
See,
how do you know that's not going on? They need to bring these to the East Coast.
And Damian Schubert doesn't quite count as a dancing girl. Yeah.
All right, so nothing big going to come out of the E3. We got some tidbits here. They did a live stream today, so we'll be you guys will be sprinkling that into the show as we go along and feed us some of that stuff. They didn't have any big reveals other than that they will be releasing cool stuff at a later date.
And 2.2 is not happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of big news. Why? What happened? What's going on?
Apparently, there's major bugs in the Nightmare raids that they want to fix before releasing that to the public.
Okay.
Which is good.
Well, that's good. Don't fix it. Don't leave it buggy.
Yeah.
All right. So Bruce McLean started talking. He was talking cross-server queuing. So here's what he had to say. He said, "While the exact details of which features will make Game Update 2.4 are still being hardened, I can definitely say that cross-server queuing is not in the plan for it. We've taken a hard look at cross-server queuing in the past, and accomplishing it is a significant challenge that would take a lot of time away from other things we are working on. Emphasis on significant. It's not forever off the table, but it's not in the plan right now." So we're expecting 2.4 to be the big PvP patch, right? Is that something you thought we might be seeing in there, Lar? Was the cross-server stuff?
Initially, I was hoping that that's what was going to be in there. Was going to be one of the major things is that they were going to figure out some way to do cross-server queuing, because one of the things, I mean, really, when you are a PvPer, and I understand this side of it because it leads over into PvE as well, is you want to be the best at it, or at least know where you stand in the whole progression of everything. And it's really hard thing to do when you can't battle other people on other servers. And so yeah, I was kind of expecting to see some sort of cross-server queuing, even if it was, say, only in ranked PvP. But yeah, it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen. It looks like they say it's going to be significant, right? It's going to be something huge, and that PvPers will really like it, but nothing more than that.
Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna love it.
You're just gonna love it.
Well, they did say that as far as crossover queuing goes, that pretty much don't hold your breath that that's going to come anytime until like the significant future. They said one of the things that they are fixing for the 2.4 patch is queue times is something that's going to be worked on, and there are big fixes to ranked coming.
Yeah.
My guess would be that it's probably going to look at maybe queuing up for ranked with smaller groups, such as like 4 people rather than a full 8.
How about what do you think that most of the community has been really looking for this cross-server queuing, though? Is this something that is desperately sort of needed right now?
I think they're desperate. Okay, I do know this of the PvP community. They are desperate for competition, and it just in the current system, the way it is, does not promote the best competition. And for instance, there are some really big PvP groups on our server, and I'll be perfectly honest, in regular PvP, that not everybody offers a challenge to them. Let's get real. I mean, some of us, myself included, are not great at PvP, but we do like to PvP every once in a while, but we don't do it all the time. It isn't our thing. It isn't our focus. And then whenever we go up against these kinds of groups, it not only frustrates us. Yeah, it not only frustrates us because we're getting steamrolled, but it also frustrates those guys that do it all the time because they are bored with it. It just it doesn't take anything to steamroll over some of these people. And so yeah, it's I think some sort of system like crossover queuing would have been an excellent solution to this problem, because it gives you more people to work within, like let's say elo rating. Certain you'll get your own elo rating, and you will be queued up with people that are of similar ranks as you. Whereas right now it's pretty much first come first serve because of the way the queue works.
I really agree with that. I think that most of the hardcore PvPers, especially on our server and definitely other servers on the PvP forums, they're really looking to do ranked. And right now there's nobody queuing up for ranked. So it's like saying, well, hey, if ranked is their rating, they can't do rating because there's nobody for them to go up against. And they're just looking for people to be able to have matches against.
I mean, a lot of games actually try and stay away from crossover queuing because they feel like it takes a lot away from like the server communities and rivalries and things like that. But I don't know, Laura, how do you feel? How do you feel about them? Like, does it have a lot to do with sort of also like, the state of the game at this, of where the game is at, where they kind of flip that switch because the good outweighs the bad?
Having done crossover queues in WoW, yeah, you kind of lose some of the community there, but I think in terms of being able to jump into dungeons or jump into PvP and not be sitting there for 3 hours waiting for a match to pop, absolutely, I would be fully in support of that. And the people that want to queue together, queue up together. We've got plenty of threads on the Evan Hawk forums where you've got people talking about like trying to work to get ranked matches together and jumping into PvP queues. And if having the crossover queue meant that you had more competition, I would absolutely be in favor of that, whether it's for PvP or for PvE. I really just think in the long run it helps people out. Yeah, you're going to have some of the anonymity issues where people are like, well, I'm not on the server and I can be a dick to you and, what are you going to do? But I really think that those are just examples that are few and far between. I think the good of being able to have more exposure to other people outweighs the few people that are going to be assholes.
What do you think, Larry? Where do you stand on this?
I completely agree. And even if it's just say in rank PvP, let's say it's just in ranked PvP, then that those people that are queued up for ranked PvP, if ranked PvP is cross server, that's like, these are the guys that are in it for PvP. I'm not going to queue up for ranked PvP. If I knew it was cross server and I knew it was, it was high competition, that sort of thing, that wouldn't be the PvP for me. But there's definitely, for those guys that are PvPers, that's their thing, and I would definitely agree with that.
I gotta say though, like, sort of looking back on his statement here. In their defense, they're not saying it's not coming. Like, it just sounds like this is a really big undertaking for them as far as the technology goes, and they just need more time to actually put it together. But it doesn't sound like they're just saying like, "Hey, this is just off the table. Yeah, we're not going to do this." It doesn't even sound like they. What's that?
It's just, they said it's on the table. It's just so far out in the future for them to implement that people shouldn't hold their breath waiting to I wouldn't even say this year that it would come. Like, this is something way down the road that people should be looking at.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a large technical hurdle. It sounds like a very large technical hurdle here for them to make this actually happen. So unfortunate for PvPers. Hopefully they can just, add some more maps and actually get PvP in better balance to kind of keep players going and maybe fix the, some of the matchmaking system as it goes. Maybe they've decided to focus and implement on chat bubbles instead. Maybe that's what they're doing.
I'm sure they did. Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny. I talk a lot against what they've done with PvP and things along that line, but I really want PvP to work in this game. I do. I think that at least
you said they should rip it out. You said 2 weeks ago they should remove it completely.
No, I do think they should. They either need. I want it to work, but you know what? If they're not going to get it to work, just stop working on it. You know what I mean? That's really what it boils down to. And
maybe they should get that one dude some help.
Yeah, that one guy that's doing it all.
The one guy who's on the PvP team.
He's doing class balancing and he's doing PvP. Come on, he's got a lot of stuff to do.
Where's Gabe? Phone home Gabe. Gabe, where are you, man? Like, send me a smoke signal or something. Should be a tweet.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm pretty sure Gabe's not there anymore. He's probably off doing some other.
Yeah, I have no idea.
thing.
I'm hoping to run into him at E3 or something because I'm just like, what's happening? Haven't seen his name pop up in a long time.
Yeah, the only person that we see in association with PvP is Austin Peckinpah right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that he's pretty much in charge of. He said, I believe in a thread, he said that he personally did all the class balancing, like he did all the entries for the class balancing and that sort of thing. So, and he's also the PvP guy. So the PvP and class balancing teams are the same team, and it's one guy. So, I'm joking about that. I have no idea. I know somebody in the chat room or somebody watching later is going to take me seriously, although it's probably.
Larry says it's one man. All right, Bruce finished up by saying this. He said, even though it is too early to share specifics, I can say the game update 2.4, as it is being worked on right now, has features and changes that should cause a significant improvement of queue times for ranked war zones in particular. Emphasis on significant. He loves putting the emphasis on significant. This is a significant hurdle, and this is a significant change. So he really likes to use that word significant. Any idea what he could be talking about here other than cross-server queues and obviously the queue times?
New Hutball map.
New Hutball map.
I'm totally throwing that out there.
It's going to be very significant.
Yeah.
It's
going to be a significant Hutball map. Yeah. And gosh, you know
Anything
what though?
else?
I'm
one map? Is that going to be enough?
I'm hoping that it's not just one map. I really
I was
hope
going to
it's
say,
not
like, is that it? You both agreed on a Hutball map, and I'm like, 2.4 Hutball map done. It's a significant Hutball map done.
No, I really hope. I don't know. I'm totally at a loss. I don't know how they could possibly fix the queue times and the the ranked PvP or any of that. I'm at a
Single
complete
person
loss.
ranked, go.
Single person ranked.
I mean, I guess I'm
1 versus 1. We're just gonna duel.
It'd probably be more fun, right? Ranked dueling. Hopefully they use the Cantina. Maybe they'll release some PvP stuff at the Cantina. Let's hope. That's next week, I believe.
Next week. Yeah, there's one in San Diego not too long after that.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
so,
hopefully at the, maybe we'll get some
not
more
San
PvP.
Diego. Yeah. Yeah, it is San Diego. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see. We shall see.
Well, they're also fixing /stuck. So that's
that's
another excellent PvP change. Yeah. Now you are not going to have incentive to commit suicide when you are in PvP matches, because in 2.2.1 they gave a number. You will, if you use /stuck, you will take a res penalty and not be able to res for 20 seconds. Oh yeah.
Is that enough of a penalty? 20 seconds? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, no, that's quite that's
a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, that only makes sense, and I'm really glad that they've done that, because right now it's used as a way. For instance, it's used as a way to get to the end zone in Hutball really quickly, because you /stuck, you're dead, you pop in the penalty box, you come out, and you're
It's a significant use of mechanics right there. /stuck.
Yep.
Emphasis on significant.
Get back to the turret and Alderaan.
Hey, have you guys heard this? Here's a side note. Did you hear? The TSA took Chewbacca's lightsaber?
No.
Have you heard about this? Have you heard this story? I'm not even joking. I'm totally being serious. So the actor who played Chewbacca in the Star Wars movies, an older guy now, and he walks with a cane, and well, he actually has a cane that's a lightsaber. He was at the airport.
Awesome.
And they took it from him, and they said, "Yes, we're just going to take your cane. You can't have this, sir, for some reason." And then I think, and in this ridiculous world of social media, I think Chewbacca took to the Twitter and posted something about the TSA taking his lightsaber, and Last
Let
I've
the
heard,
Wookiee win. Yeah.
yes, the TSA has given it back to him. So I think he actually got it back. It's a true story. Go look it up. Everybody's gonna go Google it. Yeah, I'm being completely serious.
Yep.
How do you steal a man's lightsaber?
That's terrible.
It's really terrible. Do you think he told him that he was Chewbacca? Do you think he was like, bro?
Okay, I mean, have you ever met that dude?
No.
He's like 8 feet tall.
Yes,
I have met him. I met him at Dragon Con. Yeah, he's super tall. One of the few people that I actually have to look up to.
What did they think? Like plutonium or something was like in his lightsaber? Like it's glow. Why is it glowing? It's radioactive. You're gonna blow up a plane. It's a cane. The guy was in Star Wars. Leave him alone. Ridiculous. All right. Damian Schubert was talking a little bit about increased level cap and skill points. First up, he said, when you give more skill points to spend to a player, you also make it possible for them to buy more combinations of the lowest level branches of multiple skill trees. They can, for example, buy the lowest level keystone abilities for both a strong DPS character and a tank, and make characters that are virtually impossible to balance correctly. The classic mage tank. What's wrong with a mage tank? It sounds awesome.
I think a mage tank sounds awesome. I'm waiting for them to put in a sniper tank tree with all the aggro that I pull. Hell yeah.
Just every class
Sniper
tank.
tank.
Everything. Sniper tank,
Every-
mage tank,
Marauder tank. Yeah.
healer
yeah.
tank, healer
Yeah,
tank.
that's right. Healer tank.
Healer
Yeah.
tank.
No, but seriously,
Yeah.
what's up with the mage tank? What's going on with it? Broken?
I think the problem that I read on the forums was that people were complaining that if you were leveling an alt, with the increased level, they added a whole bunch of filler talents in the tree so that your top level talent is now, you don't get it till like late 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
something like that. Whereas before, for some classes, you were able to max your tree by like 30, 39, like late 30s, early 40s. And the complaint was that now some classes have a problem because the trees for their spec don't come into their own, quote unquote, until they can reach that top tier talent, and that's now not possible. So it's making leveling a little bit more difficult.
Huh.
Specifically, you'll find an issue with the Guardian and the Juggernaut, because their top tier talent is a major threat generator, and it's a AOE. They have one AOE threat generator with Smash, but their second AOE threat generator is the Crushing Blow, and that's only a top tier level or top tier talent, and only getting that getting that at like 42 now or something like that is a significant damper on queuing up for say flashpoints and things along that line, because you're not as an effective tank. You're not completely out of the loop, because you do have certain talents that generate threat, but your major one, specifically that one, which is the major talent to generate threat, is not existent for you.
Did they with McCabe? Did they move some of these like more important talents further up the talent tree?
Yeah. Yes, they
Yeah.
did. They did.
Right.
And they did that for this. The exact reason that Damian Schubert mentions there is that you don't want. For instance, I'll give it. For instance, that a friend of ours was looking at doing before we knew what all the talent trees were, is he was considering doing it was like a vengeance tank kind of hybrid, where you could leap to somebody, because vengeance has a talent where you can leap to somebody and you are then immune to any kind of knockbacks or anything along that line. And he was considering going up the tank tree and then taking enough in the vengeance tree to be immune to knockbacks and that sort of thing, and seeing how that played out. And he can't do that. He couldn't do that with the changes that they made at 2.0. But that's just one of the things is you with so many. The more you add to it, the more convoluted, the more hybrid, so to speak, the specs become, unless you put some more talents in the interim or move up some of the other significant talents make it further up the tree.
Although I get it, but it's kind of crappy for people who didn't buy the expansion, right? This change still affects them. And
yeah, they don't have those extra 5 points.
Yeah, it's kind of crappy.
Yeah, exactly.
No hybrids for you.
Danielson. Damien continued with this. He said, we're not thrilled with this, of course. We'd really like for tank classes to be able to tank as quickly as possible. However, some things would need to be rethought before this can be a reality. It's definitely something that will get more thought before we ever raise the level cap again. So, I mean, the issues, I guess, are mainly at lower levels, which pretty much makes sense. Unfortunately, that means it's an issue that affects mostly new players, right? So new people coming in.
Or anybody leveling. I mean, even older players are going to run into that too.
True. I will say older players leveling at least maybe sort of understand a little bit more about it. You get new players and they have a terrible
They'll be prepared for it. Yeah. Whereas a new player is going to be like, oh, well.
I will say this is some advice that Georg Zoller gave me. Georg Zoller is one of the guys that originally developed the combat system for TOR. He's during one of the I was doing the first time I had ever done Hammer Station, which was before the game even launched, significantly before the game even launched, and I was playing a trooper vanguard, and I was the tank, and he said I had one taunt. I think I had one. No, I didn't even have a taunt at that time. I had just something that upped my threat. It wasn't a taunt, and what he told me to do to maintain threat was not to rely on my taunt abilities, but rather rely almost solely on my DPS to increase my threat. Which if I'm concentrating on building up high DPS, then I'm naturally going to generate more threat to that character, because being a tank, I'm generating more threat just by adding more DPS to it. So he said concentrate on that, and then that should supplement the lack of taunt abilities or even high threat abilities, as if you concentrate on building your DPS.
Hell yeah, DPS tanks!
That's right, DPS tanks.
I'm writing this down, Lara, because it's very, very complex. It's almost
stats. Just go for straight might.
That's right.
Almost as complicated as maths. Maths are very difficult. All right, I'm going to talk about paid character transfers really quick. I want to tell you guys about a great deal going on with Audible. That's right. Wanted to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. All you got to do is go use that URL, audible.com/gamebreaker. Got to use the URL. You head on over, sign up, download the app, put it on your iPhone, your iOS device. You guys see iOS 7? Looking pretty sexy. I don't know if you guys have checked it out. I don't know. I'm a Mac freak. I like Apple stuff. So
Android.
Yes. But they have an Android app. I don't know if it's as sexy as iOS 7, but I'm sure it is. Just go over to Audible, sign up. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's audiobooks. Plenty of cool stuff. Lots of Star Wars stuff on here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Let's see. What is Larry Everett? What has Larry Everett read today? Let's see. Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars. That's my.
Oh, what's that one? The top one.
That is Into the Void. Let's see. Then I think we talked about Heir to the Empire last time. What was there was let's see. Let's move down. I feel like there's.
Well, there's Revan right there.
There's Revan. That's what I was looking for. You read this one way back in the day, and you loved it, didn't you?
Well, it was the one I read was Deceived, which is
Deceived.
The one about Malgus. Revan is written by Drew Karpyshyn, one of the writers for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
There's Deceived.
And there's Deceived right there. Yeah.
How was this one?
Deceived. It's an interesting book. If you want to know more about Darth Malgus and the reason why he does the things that he does in TOR, that is certainly one to read. There is pretty significant character development in there, and there are some very interesting characters in there as well.
Cool. Well, it's up there on the Audibles.
Yeah.
It's, you can be downloading this tonight. It's got a really high rating, 4.5 stars. It's pretty good. So a lot of people have checked it out too.
It's pretty good.
Looks like it's 10 hours of goodness. Check it out. Go over to audible.com. gamebreaker. Use the URL, sign up, make an account, get an account free for 30 days. You get to use the old free for 30 days. And you get to pick one free book, and that could be your free book tonight. You'd be listening to Deceived right now. A whole bunch of other stuff on there, but there you go. Larry Everett suggesting check out the Deceived by Star Wars, The Old Republic. Audible.com/gamebreaker. We love Audible. I love Audible. So glad to have them as a sponsor. Go check it out. Audible.com/gamebreaker. All right. The cost of paid character transfers have finally been revealed. What did you two guess last week? Yeah,
I said 2,000.
You said 2,000. What happened?
I said it was going to be like 4,000. I was totally wrong.
I can't remember what I said.
I figured it would be about the same as.
I thought you said 10,000.
Like 25.
I thought you went like crazy. And you were like, I think it's gonna be like 10,000.
No, that was like for guild something.
Maybe that was. I don't remember.
Guild capital ships.
Guild capital ships are going to be 10,000.
Well,
no,
we're
it's
all
actually
wrong.
it's cheaper than WoW. I figured it was going to end up being about $25 worth of cartel coins, and yeah, now it works out to being like $17, $18. So yeah,
I was $2 off.
That's much cheaper.
I think I was pretty darn close.
Bob, I was $2 off.
You should be on The Price is Right, Larry.
The real price is 1,000.
Oh, but I went over, so
coins. Yeah, you would have lost.
You would have won because you were closer than me.
Yeah, well, no, I was Price is Right. I went $2 over, so you know.
I think it's a pretty fair price, though, right? Crazy. I mean, this is a pretty good price. $18.
Yeah, $18. That's very reasonable for a server transfer, especially in some of the other games that I've played where it has been more expensive.
Yeah, this would be a bit weird.
I am definitely okay with that price.
Are you okay with it, Larry?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I remember doing that with SWG, and it was like $30, and WoW is like $25, and so this being less than $20 I think that's pretty.
It's like the cost of buying one of those outfits on the cartel market.
That's right. It is. There's clothing that costs less than that on the cartel market.
But not much.
Or more than that. Sorry.
Can you buy a character transfer off the GTN if someone puts it on there? Because that would be a bit weird.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I am guessing that you will be able to.
You think?
We'll have to, yeah. Seriously, you can. No, here's the thing. You can buy a name change. You can buy a guild name change. You can buy a legacy name change. You can buy species change. You can buy just about every single thing you can think of. The only thing you cannot buy on the GTN that is sold on the cartel market is the Rise of the Hutt cartel. That has been the only thing. Everything else you can buy from the GTN. So that'll be very interesting. I mean, that'll be awesome, actually, if you think about it. Think about it this way. That means it's tradable. If you can see it on the GTN, that means it's tradable. So that means if for whatever reason somebody in your guild cannot pay for a server for a character transfer, and all you have to do is
you can help your buddy out, buy it for them.
Exactly. It'll be something that you can. Of course, you have to wait a couple days, between buying it because there's a cooldown on binding, but it can still be done, and that's I think that's awesome. That's a great thing if they do it that way.
One thing that brings to mind though that I don't understand why more games don't make this easier. Unfortunately, like there seems like there's no way to transfer an entire guild, which.
I'm sorry, the chat room just said I'm gonna mail one to some people I don't like.
Just get them off. Get out of here. Get off my server. I don't want you anymore. But why? You think that's an oversight? I mean, what about full guilds who want to move and kind of want to make some, and pull some money together and make it like a really easy transition? Do you think it's kind of a bit of an oversight that they don't have an option for that?
I don't think so, because they'll make more money in the long run if they have it as individuals where people can decide to transfer if they will. And I mean, what if you've got people in your guild who don't actually want to leave? Like they like the server that they're playing on, and they're like, well, just saying, hey, yeah, we want to go somewhere else, but really, they're like, no, we don't.
So, I mean, you'll be able to transfer across server types, PvE to PvP, so that's cool. You won't be able to transfer across region. Something we know can be done, but I guess they just don't want people crossing over into those regions. I don't know what the issue would be there, except for latency, but
I don't know. Eric Musco said that there is a technical reason why they can't do it. He did not go into the details of it, but he did say that they will be working on that and get that out as soon as possible.
All right, next up. Players have discovered that PvE power relics don't stack with PvE direct damage relics. You guys familiar with this?
Yes.
So essentially means that the proc effects of your 2 relics are only half as effective as they should be. Is that correct?
No, what the original complaint was that they had a proc for power, and if you're using a different relic that procs like an internal damage for kinetic damage or tech damage, that those 2 relics were not stacking together. And I believe the change actually came in because people were able to use the power proc relics, which is the Serendipitous Assault. They could use the PvE and the PvP relics together and have 2 stacks of power coming, which, by the way, I was using, and it was fantastic. I was really, really sad when they made it so that those 2 did not stack together. But apparently in the change, it has screwed things up now so that the other procs are not going to proc with the Serendipitous Assault. So if you're using a Serendipitous Assault and, say, a Boundless Aegis, which is a click power, that's fine, but anything else is not stacking together like it should be. And of course, now they're saying, well, that's working as intended. You shouldn't have 2 proc relics working together, but they worked together before, so...
Yeah. And they're permanent stats on relics, right?
Yes.
Oh, yes, the stats are working fine. It's the like she said, it's the procs that aren't working right. So for instance, right now, and I'm going to have to change it because I hadn't thought about it until I just got back on my Juggernaut recently. I have a defense proc relic and I have a shield proc relic, and they aren't going to work together because of this issue. There's 2 different stats, 2 different procs. Like the 2 different procs, they affect 2 different stats, except they won't work together. And it really boiled down to exactly what Laura was saying. The Serendipitous Assault relic, people were stacking the PvE version with the PvP version.
PvP.
Yeah, and
actually, the 2 PvPs were stacking as well. So you could use the Partisan PvP Serendipitous Assault, and if you got the ranked comps to be able to get the, Conqueror? The Conqueror Serendipitous Assault, you could do that. It makes me really sad because that much power was fucking awesome.
Eric Musco noted in the thread, he jumped in and had this to say. He said, with this information in hand, I went to the combat team to talk to them about it. What they told me is that right now the relics are working as intended. However, we are going to be revisiting the design of these relics with a possibility of changing the way they interact in a future game update. So, I don't know. Do you think he printed it out?
Well, I think that's pretty stupid because right now you're going to have, half the relics that are out there are proc relics. So what are you going to have? Everybody using a power click relic and then have to choose between using a defense relic or a shield relic or an internal damage relic, or you see what I'm saying? Like, that's just dumb to me.
It seems like something that needs to change. Doesn't it? It's like 2 separate items,
absolutely.
2 separate effects, 2 separate stats. Yeah. And I know people I'm watching chat room, people are like, well, it sounds like, why have 2 relics if you can't stack them? It sounds like almost like an oversight. So I think people are just kind of confused. They're saying working as intended. It's like...
It's not working as intended, though, and I think they're not looking at the right thing. They made a fix to 1 relic. And yeah, I understand why they would change the Serendipitous Assault so that it's not procking, so that you can't use 2 different ones and then have that proc. Like, I get that that's overpowered. But to change it so that you can't have a proc from the Serendipitous Assault and then a proc from anything else is retarded.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like that should absolutely be a bug fix that needs to be changed.
This is another case, in my opinion. This is another case of BioWare seeing an issue and going, "What's the fastest way we can possibly fix this? Here we go." And that's really, and this is their solution. Their solution is we'll just get rid of we'll just make it so procs don't stack together. And in the long run, I think that is, I don't know.
Don't worry, the fact that it makes no sense over there, and you have two of them and they don't stack. Just don't worry about that. Just stop them. Just don't let them stack them. We'll move on. We'll figure that out in the next run, but after people freak out. All right, no problem. Free name change is still coming in June, just not in 2.2. Why are we getting a free name change again? Somebody remind me. What?
Because they promised that when they added name change to the cartel market, that subscribers were going to get a free name change, kind of as a thank you for being a subscriber. So we're gonna give that for you for one character, and then it got delayed because apparently of bug fixes or issues.
All right, so how are they?
Now it's still on the horizon.
How are they doing this though? Because I mean, the plan is still to get it out to players in June. But from what I understand, the way they're doing this is slightly odd. I mean, you would think that they would just kind of send maybe a rename token or something in the mail, but
no. See, yeah, the thing is, and this is, I can kind of understand why. I think it's a limitation of their system, of the system, because I don't. Any of you guys that make brand new characters and happen to, like me, have a whole bunch of stuff that, because you got the the collector's edition, you've got the Tonfon thing, and you're a founder and you've tested on the test server. I get, whenever I make a new character,
I get 20 different emails.
I get 20 email or something along that line, just all at one time. And the thing is, I think that's their system. So if they give a rename token to subscribers, that it's going to give it to every single character and every time they make a new character. So I think it's a limitation of their system. I'm guessing. It's total guess.
So it's their email server. It's going to wipe out their email server because it's going to send too many emails out, and it's going to bring down MailChimp is going to take a nosedive. They're going to be like, we can't send a newsletter. We spent all our mails.
That's right.
Weird.
Constant Contact will come after them and say you're spamming, and yeah.
I guess it is understandable if people have multiple characters on characters on multiple servers and things like that. But I mean, one name change per server wouldn't be so terrible. But again, I guess if it's a problem, I don't know. Still good news, I guess, for role players, especially.
I've already done a name change. It works really well. I'm really was surprised because I've run into situations in other games where I've changed names and, like, for instance, it doesn't update. Like your whole friends list disappears, all your mail disappears. I've had that happen. I've had it where you did a name change and like your name changed on your screen, but everybody else saw you as your old name, or if you're sending tells, direct messages, it was so, and it works really well. It doesn't do this. It basically basically what happens in Tor's name change is there's a little box that pops up. You put in the new name, and instantly you don't have to log off. Although to get it all reset within the whole system, you do have to log off and back on. But for you, I mean, everything is instant. I mean, just immediate. And even when you do change your name, your name still remains on all your friends lists. So if somebody had you on their list,
the name just updates.
The name just updates. That's right, exactly.
That's really nice. I don't know. I like all my names, so I've never had to name change.
Well, June is a good month for weddings and name changes, apparently. So,
are we getting weddings in Tor too? Yes.
As long as it's not like that WoW guild that had a funeral for somebody and then announced it to their entire server and had everyone come and grief them.
Yeah, exactly. It was awful.
We can do that for Carve.
Larry, last week you gleefully predicted issues with the Asia Pacific server transfers last week, so I have to ask what you did. You did. Let's be honest. You did. What's the
word? Okay.
Sing a little song, Larry.
What? What little
Sing
song?
the song.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know exactly what I'm talking about?
Anyway.
What's the word? What's the word? What's the word on server transfers from Asia Pacific? You forgot. Your brain just totally short-circuited. You're like singing the song in your head.
Completely. And yeah. Well, apparently there was some issues with. They said most of the issues had to do with people having full like all their character slots were filled up on the other server, and what it would do is it would lock people out of the game. They wouldn't be able to log in to their character. So what it would they would put in for the transfer, and then the system would go, "Hey, you've got too many characters over there, so we're locking this down," and it would lock you out of your character. So even if you went back to the Asian Pacific server, you wouldn't be able to log in your character. Yeah, I think most of them have been fixed now, but yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Good times.
Good times.
Larry Everett, follow him on the Twitter at Shadow, SHADDOE. And of course, go over to massive.com and check out the Hyperspace Beacon each and every week. What are you doing on this week's Hyperspace?
I'm doing it on the that live stream, talking about some of the new stuff that's coming out and what they talked about.
Oh, so you're going to talk about this show?
Post it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for Game Breaker to put out this show and then just put it.
Comments.
Larry's going to talk about the stuff that they're going to talk about, that the cool stuff that hasn't come out that they can't talk about, that they will talk about soon. It's cool, so just check it out.
Exactly.
Laura Williams, follow her on the Twitter at VoidMinx. Laura, sing the song.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to make people's ear bleed.
You can follow me on Twitter at Gary Gannon, follow Gamebreaker TV at Gamebreaker TV, and we do the show live every single Monday at 6 PST, so come on over for the live show, and like I said, don't forget all this week, gonna have E3 coverage, so keep refreshing F5 and the Game Breakers for more E3 coverage. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week at some more Republic.